Hello guys, this is Amol Khedkar. I welcome you to this video. This will be a very interesting video because I'm going to talk about why US citizenship is a curse. You might have heard about many people saying that they are literally dying to get American citizenship, but many people don't know what are the hidden truths behind American citizenship. So I will give you a detailed analysis of what exactly American citizenship comes with. Okay, there are many strings attached here, so don't forget to watch this video right till the end. And before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe because nobody else is going to tell you this kind of information that I'm going to tell you in this video. So please don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. So this is an article from Investopedia which says why people renounce their US citizenship. In somber language, a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act details a US citizen's rights to renounce his or her citizenship by voluntarily making a formal renunciation of nationality before a diplomatic or consular officer of the US in a foreign state in such form as may be prescribed by the Secretary of State and by signing an oath of renunciation. So it is a very long process to renounce the US citizenship. And to be honest, there are people who are US citizens by accident. They are called accidental Americans. They are born to US citizens outside of America and somehow they become US citizens, and that's why they even these people are trying to renounce US citizenship as soon as possible, but even that is a hassle. So US citizenship, to be honest with you, is a curse that many people are trying to get rid of. After hitting a record high of 5411 in 2016, the number of Americans renouncing their US citizenship has declined for the past 2 years, according to US Treasury, falling to 3981 in 2018, down 22% from 5133 in 2017. Nonetheless, it remains near historic highs. So literally there are almost 5,000 to 6,000 people that are renouncing their US citizenship every single year. So it remains near historic highs. So what does renouncing your citizenship entail? And why exactly people are doing this? There are many issues here. Okay, you really need to understand this. Key takeaways. Giving up your citizenship means giving up all benefits such as voting rights, government protection should you need help while abroad, and citizenship for children born outside the US. Renunciation is a lengthy process that involves extensive paperwork, interviews, and fees. It is also a process that is typically permanent. You can't change your mind and regain your citizenship. But to be honest with you, this is so US government makes it so hard for people to renounce the US citizenship, which is literally, a very maddeningly insane thing. Like if a person wants to give up the citizenship by himself, and I will give you the reasons why exactly people do that. Why is it so hard for people to do that? It's a voluntary thing, but US government is very very stringent on allowing people to renounce the citizenship. That's why it involves extensive paperwork, interviews, and fees. There are fees that you have to pay to the US government before you renounce your US citizenship. Imagine this, and there is an interview as well. Some Americans have renounced their citizenship because of new laws that require taxpayers to report foreign held assets to the IRS and to pay double taxes both in the US and abroad. This is the fundamental reason why almost everybody really wants to renounce the US citizenship, because America is the only country in the entire world, major country in the entire world, that does double taxation, which is absolutely insane. Look at this. Some Americans have renounced their citizenship because of new laws that require taxpayers to report foreign held assets to the IRS. So you have to report foreign held assets to the IRS, which is the Internal Revenue Service, and to pay double taxes both in the US and abroad. So what does this mean is that if suppose I get US citizenship and I'm a citizen of America, and if I own a house in India, then I have to pay taxes to the US government for that house in India, no matter what. So now that house is in India. Okay, I'm paying taxes for that house in India. So US government does not have any control over that house. So why the hell do I have to pay taxes to the US government? Because they have this insane law. And that's why many people are relinquishing their citizenship, because of this maddeningly insane law, because it taxes you on worldwide income. So when you leave America and if you want to go to, say Canada or Europe or say India, China, Russia, and you earn any income over there, you are liable to pay taxes to the American government on the income that you generated over there. So you are paying taxes to Indian government as well, and you are paying taxes to American government as well. So this is an insane and completely irrational law that is still existing in America. That's why people renounce the US citizenship. Other people have renounced their citizenship for personal or political reasons, such as opposing a war that the country is engaged in or objecting to a political party or elected official. So definitely, if you have seen my videos, America has been a war-loving country since the time of its formation. Since the Second World War, America has fought like countless major wars. So definitely people are fed up of these wars. That's why you can see here there is a reason for announcing citizenship is that people are fed up of this instant constant violence and war mentality and all those things, and they are also relinquishing because they oppose a political party or elected officials. So for example, Trump, there are many people who hate Trump. I mean, 99% of the news that comes out is against Trump. So it is very easy to hate Trump. So there are people that hate Trump and they just want to get out of America somehow. So if you remember, when American election was happening in 2016, Canadian immigration website crashed during that night. This is an actual fact. Go and look it out for yourself. Under US law, citizenship can be terminated for reasons such as becoming a citizen of a different country, fighting in a war for a different country against the US, or attempting to overthrow the US government. So under US law, citizenship can be terminated for reasons such as becoming a citizen of a different country. Okay, so US does not allow that. Fighting in a war for a different country against the US. So tomorrow, if India and US are at war, then if you fight for India against the US, then you can terminate. They can terminate US citizenship or attempting to overthrow the US government. The process and the impact of expatriation. Abandoning citizenship has serious consequences. You give up the benefits granted to US citizens, including the right to vote in US elections, government protection and assistance while traveling overseas, citizenship for children born abroad, access to federal jobs, and unrestricted travel into and outside of the country. So if people are leaving, people are relinquishing so many benefits, then why the hell are so many people abandoning it? Because there are many things that you have to comply when you are a US citizen. What are those? Let's find out. What's more, renunciation is not as easy as throwing out your passport. So that's why American government makes it very, very difficult for people to renounce US citizenship. So, to be honest with you, there is a term called accidental Americans. Go and look out for that term. You will understand what I mean. There are people who are US citizens by default. They don't even know that they're US citizens. And when they go to apply for a different passport, they are told that they're US citizens. That's why that's why they are called as accidental Americans. So that's why America makes it very difficult to give up your passport. It's not as easy as throwing out your passport. It's a lengthy legal process that involves paperwork, interviews, and money. America, as I have always said, America is all about money. Okay, so it's a money making machine. So that's why it's a lengthy process that involves paperwork, interviews, and money. You have to give money to the US government to relinquish your citizenship. Because of the increase in the number of US citizens are seeking renunciation, the US Department of State raised the fee for the renunciation from 450 to 2350, more than 20 times the average cost in other high income countries. Again, this is America. So because of the increase in the number of US citizens seeking renunciation, so there are more and more people that are now seeking renunciation of US citizenship. The US Department of State raised the fee for the renunciation from $450 to $2350, more than 20 times the average cost in other high income countries. So they want to make it more and more difficult for people to renounce the US citizenship. Why? Because they want to keep on collecting taxes from those people. That's the only reason. So look at this, why are they making it so hard for people to renounce US citizenship? Literally, it is 20 times the average cost in other high income countries. That is the only reason they want people to pay double taxes for worldwide income in America. In addition, some high-income citizens may owe a type of capital gains tax called an exit tax, officially called an expatriation tax. There is an exit tax. So while you are leaving, the US citizenship, they are literally going to levy an additional tax on you, which is called a capital gains tax or an exit tax, which is literally like they are going to tax for once and for all your worldwide income. So they are not even going to leave you before you give up your US citizenship. So people are so desperate to get US citizenship, and that's what I wanted to point it out in this video, that many things in this world are not that black and white. There are many gray shades to it, and you really need to understand what exactly comes when you take up the US citizenship before you jump into it. So even I had the opportunity to take up US citizenship, but I definitely did my own research, and I just gave up on that madness, because US is a very different country. US is a very, very violent and very racist country. I don't want to be part of such a country. It's important to recognize that in nearly all cases, a renunciation is an irrevocable act, meaning you won't be able to change your mind and regain US citizenship. So they want to tell you that you will definitely not be able to regain US citizenship. They just want to scare you somehow. Despite these and other consequences, more and more people are choosing to renounce the US citizenship. So understand this. They are making it more and more harder for people. They are increasing the fees, as you can see here. It's literally 20 times more than other countries. They are giving people warnings that they will not be able to reverse this. Even then, despite these and other consequences, more and more people are choosing to renounce the US citizenship. Understand this. More and more people are voluntarily choosing to renounce US citizenship. Here's why. Why is that? I will tell this to you just in a moment. To offset the decline in people renouncing the citizenship, the US government boosted the fee from 450 to 2350, making it more than 20 times the average cost of other wealthy nations. So they want to offset the decline in people renouncing their citizenship. They increase the cost of it, but even then people are not giving up. People are not backing off. They are giving up the citizenship. So why so many renunciations? Why exactly are people renouncing so much, so many times? While the reasons for abandoning citizenship vary from one person to the next, the recent spike in numbers is largely due to newer tax laws, including the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act (FATCA) of 2010. What exactly is this FATCA Act? According to the IRS, FATCA is an important development in US efforts to combat tax evasion by US persons holding accounts and other financial assets offshore. FATCA focuses on reporting by. So, this is what it means. America is the only major country in the entire world that taxes you on your worldwide income, and that's how they do this. There's this law called FATCA, which literally prohibits people from doing business in any other country other than America, and if they do business over there, they will have to pay taxes to the US government. So FATCA focuses on reporting by US taxpayers about their foreign financial accounts and offshore assets. So how does the US government get information about your foreign assets? So US taxpayers about their foreign financial accounts and offshore assets. So US taxpayers voluntarily tell the US government that they have assets offshore. Foreign and financial institutions regarding financial accounts held by US taxpayers. Very important statement. Foreign financial institutions regarding financial accounts held by US taxpayers. Do you know, if you have a US passport in your hand and you want to open a bank account in some other country, do you know how hard it is? Why is that? Because when you have a US passport, that financial institution has to take the permission of the IRS, of the US government, to open your account in that country. Why is that? Because that bank needs to report all your earnings to the IRS, to the US government, because they want to tax you on that as well. So that's why it is very, very hard for US citizens to open up a foreign bank account. You can check this up. So foreign financial institutions regarding financial accounts held by US taxpayers. Definitely, that's how the IRS gets information of these people. Foreign entities in which US taxpayers hold a substantial ownership interest. So these are the three ways in which US government gets to know where are the assets of the people who are US citizens all over the globe. Under FATCA, certain US taxpayers with financial assets outside of the US that total more than the reporting threshold must report the assets to the IRS using this form. Statement of specified foreign financial assets. The threshold varies based on your filing status and whether you live in the US or abroad. So they want people to report their outside earnings as much as possible. The IRS warns there are serious penalties for not reporting these financial assets. So they are again warning you, they're telling you that there are serious penalties for not reporting these financial assets. So if you hide from them that you don't have any financial assets anywhere else in the world, so suppose there is a person from India who is a US citizen, and if that guy owns a house in India and he hides that from the US government, then definitely they are going to tax him almost 2 times to 3 times more. It should be noted that FATCA requirements are in addition to Form 114, Report of Foreign Bank and Financial Accounts, FBAR. FBAR is also another tax that they will levy on the people who are US citizens. So there is FATCA and there is FBAR. Both these taxes are levied on US citizens who have assets outside of America. The long-standing requirement for reporting foreign financial accounts. So there is already this FBAR thing, which is a long-standing requirement for reporting financial accounts which are foreign, and now there is again this FATCA madness. So the penalties for failing to comply are significant and in some cases involve criminal liability. In addition to financial reporting requirements is the issue of double taxation. So there is this financial reporting requirement, that is true. On top of that, there is double taxation. Unlike most countries, the US has citizenship-based taxation. Unlike most countries, as I said, US is the only major country in the entire world. So, unlike most countries, the US has citizenship based taxation, meaning citizens are taxed regardless of where in the world they live and where they earn their income. Extremely important statement if you are trying to get US citizenship, or if you really have that kind of misconception that US citizenship is like the very important thing that you can do anything for. Just understand this: unlike most countries, the US has citizenship based taxation, meaning citizens are taxed regardless of where in the world they live and where they earn their income. While foreign tax credits can reduce the tax burden, they do not eliminate all double taxes, particularly for higher income earners who end up filing and paying taxes both in the US and abroad. Isn't that interesting? Look at this. So while foreign tax credits can reduce the tax burden, so there are a few tax treaties between the countries that can reduce the tax burden, but they do not eliminate all double taxes. So you cannot completely eradicate double taxation, particularly for higher income earners who end up filing and paying taxes both in the US and abroad. So definitely all these people are higher income earners, not like ordinary people are not going to go and buy properties outside. So when you buy a property outside of America, you definitely end up paying taxes to both America and that foreign country. Published expatriates, the number of Americans who renounce US citizenship each year according to the Treasury. So this is an official number from US Treasury of the number of Americans who renounce US citizenship every year. So now, from 1998 to 2016, just look at the entire graph. It is going up and up and up. So after 2013, it is literally crossed 4,000. Now it is almost like 5,000, and many people are renouncing it as years go by. The current tax laws and the reporting, filing, and tax obligations that accompany them have made many Americans choose to renounce their citizenship not just because of the money, but because they find the tax compliance and disclosure laws inconvenient, onerous, and even unfair. Absolutely true. One more time, the current tax laws and the reporting, filing, and tax obligations that accompany them have made many Americans choose to renounce their citizenship, not just because of the money, but because they find the tax compliance and disclosure laws inconvenient, onerous, and even unfair. One other side effect of FATCA and the requirement for foreign financial institutions to report information to the US regarding US citizens' accounts is that many foreign banks don't want to deal with American clients at all. Absolutely true. One other side effect of FATCA is that many foreign banks don't want to deal with American citizens at all. So if you are an American citizen, if you have a passport of America and you go and you want to open up a bank account in Russia or say Japan, the bank does not even want to deal with American citizens. Why? Because they have this kind of crazy laws. America has this kind of crazy laws. America is a shithole country. That's why they have these kind of laws which literally tax people based on their worldwide income. As a result, many US citizens have been turned away by financial institutions abroad. Many US citizens have been turned away by financial institutions abroad. A frustrating problem if you live overseas and want to pay your bills. So the people who are American citizens who are living outside of America, they cannot open a bank account outside of America. Why? Because of this crazy and maddeningly insane rule which is called FATCA or FBAR, and it's a frustrating problem if you live overseas and want to pay your bills. Very true. So the number of people who have renounced their citizenship in the first quarter of 2019, the most recently reported quarter according to US Treasury. So just in the one quarter, there are almost 1,000 people who have renounced their US citizenship in 2019. So this is just for one quarter. So there are there are many other. There are almost like 12 more months 8 more months in the entire year, 9 more months in the entire year. Okay, and so this literally just so the entire number is almost like 4 to 5,000 every year. Other reasons for renunciation. Historically, Americans have occasionally renounced their citizenship for other reasons. So tax complication is one thing, but there are also other reasons. For example, opposition to US policy during the Vietnam War. So Vietnam War was also a very controversial and very, very insane thing that America had perpetrated on the citizens of Vietnam. And so many people renounced American citizenship during the Vietnam War. Certain acts can also cause an individual to lose US citizenship without formally renouncing it. So certain acts can also cause a US citizen to renounce the US citizenship involuntarily. Under the Internal Revenue Code and or the Immigration and Nationality Act, citizenship can be terminated and therefore relinquished, not renounced, for several reasons, including what are the reasons that citizenship can be terminated? Applying for and becoming a natural citizen of another country. So if you apply for and become a natural citizen of another country, then US citizenship is terminated. There are people, I have met a few people who are from India. They got US citizenship and then they renounced the US citizenship and then they got back Indian citizenship. No kidding. These are actual people that I have met, and they have done all these kind of madnesses. Making an oath of allegiance to another country. So even if you make an oath of allegiance to another country, your US citizenship can be taken away. Joining the armed services of another country engaged in the war against the US, or joining the armed services of another country as an officer. Working for a foreign government while simultaneously a citizen of that country. Accepting employment of a foreign government in a job where an oath of allegiance, affirmation, or other formal declaration of allegiance is required. So US just wants its citizens only for itself, and that's why it makes it very, very hard for people to leave the US citizenship. Renouncing US citizenship is in a time of war with the US Attorney General's approval. So you can renounce your US citizenship in the time of war with the US Attorney General's approval, or they can take it away from you. Committing an act of treason or an attempt to overthrow the US government by force. The bottom line. So what exactly is the bottom line here? Okay, why are people renouncing US citizenship? Why US citizenship is a curse? Today, both tax laws and resulting in record numbers of people renouncing the US citizenship each year. Right now, tax laws are the major reason why record numbers of people are renouncing the US citizenship each year. But it's not as easy as putting your passport through the shredder. It's not as easy as just renouncing your passport and making sure that you don't even want to look at your passport anymore. It's not that easy, because the law states that those wishing to renounce the US citizenship must do so in person before a US consular or diplomatic officer while in a foreign country. US citizens cannot renounce their citizenship by mail, through a third party, or while in the United States. So they are just making it harder and harder for people to do that. So to be honest with you, if you are a US citizen right now, and if your country is making it harder and harder for you to renounce your citizenship, what exactly do you think of that country? Why are they making it so harder? Okay, because it is in their benefit to keep you in their country. That's why they are making it harder. So that's why the law states that wishing to renounce the US citizenship must do so in person. So they do not allow you to renounce citizenship by mail, or you just throw out your passport and you are just no longer US citizen. It doesn't work that way. Renunciation has significant consequences. Aside from giving up the benefits granted to US citizens, the US Department of State advises that anyone considering renunciation of the US citizenship should understand that in almost all cases the act is irrevocable. So once you do that, then you will not be able to get out. An exception. What is the exception for that? A person who renounced his or her citizenship before the age of 18 can have their citizenship reinstated by notifying the Department of State within 6 months of turning 18. I have seen these instances when there are people who are born in America. They are like below 18 years old, like 2 to 3 years old, and the US government is not allowing the parents of that child to renounce his citizenship. Actual facts. Okay, why is that? Because as I said, America just wants to keep its citizens as much as possible to its own shores. So that's why to be honest, having US citizenship is a curse. It is not a blessing. Renouncing one's citizenship is one of the most solemn decisions anyone can take. Carefully weigh the pros and cons for yourself and your family. It is also recommended that you consult with an experienced tax professional to understand the tax consequences of renunciation. So tax is really the most important thing that people renounce their citizenship, because America just wants to get your money from all the worldwide income, no matter where you stay. So that's why many and more people are starting to see the pros and cons in it. And with everything that is happening in America right now, so this tax madness was existing even before Trump. So as I've always said, Trump has just made things worse. Trump is just the icing on the cake that has literally just messed up the entire party. So Trump is just the consequence of a decades long decline of America. So right now there are tax laws. That is one thing. There is coronavirus madness that is happening all over America. There is another thing. There are the George Floyd protests that are happening. The racial unrest that is happening. There is another thing. I have made videos about this. There is a playlist on my channel called This Is America. You can go and check the playlist and you will understand. There are literally, Los Angeles is running on drug money. And Narcos 2.0 is happening in Los Angeles right now. There are drug cartels and homeless people in San Francisco. There are rats flying around on the subway in New York. America is in a deep spiral of decline. America is not definitely the country that it used to be. And in my honest opinion, America was never great. So when Trump says that make America great again, I don't know what the hell he is talking about, because America was never a great country. America is a shithole and racist country. That is my honest opinion. So if you like my rest of this article, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.